Hey guys, Diane here, and today I'm going to be doing a spoiler-free review of The Ruins by Scott Smith, so stick around and we'll get into it. Okay, so for a quick synopsis, this book is about four friends. It's two couples, and they go out to Mexico, and they're on their spring break. They're all about to go off to college after this, and their lives are about to begin. And so they're out in Mexico, and they've made some friends there, and one of their friends decides that he's going to go kind of chase a girl that he's been talking to. They hit it off and he leaves. So he hasn't come back. They don't know where he is. They haven't had any communication with them. So they're like, okay, let's go find him. And so they head out to this archaeological site. And you soon find out that something is off. They're not really sure like what's going on. They can't communicate with the people that live there because they don't know, they're just not able to communicate because they don't know each other's languages. So everything just kind of goes from bad to worse very, very quickly, and it just sets off a kind of a chain reaction of all these horrible things that these poor kids are going to go through. And I'll kind of leave it at that just so I definitely don't want to give anything away. Okay, so the length of this book is about 400 pages, and I listened to this on Audible, and it felt kind of long, maybe just because the atmosphere was like really hot and heavy and like not dark, but hopeless. I guess hopeless is the word. But the flow was really easy. I felt there weren't any parts where I was like getting bored. I didn't feel like there was a part where it was lacking. Like I honestly couldn't think of a part where I was like, "Oh man, hurry up." It just flowed really well. And there's a lot that happens. There's a lot going on. And everything is just once one bad thing happens, then something else happens. And you're like, oh my gosh, like seriously, can we catch a break? But the length, like I said, it fit the book well. The flow was really easy, and it was a pretty easy. It was a good easy summer read. Okay, so as far as characters go, there were about four main characters, and then we have the two kind of supporting characters. Um, but as far as like I wasn't super connected to any of them. I didn't really have a whole lot of feeling to whether or not they survived, or if they did, they did. If they didn't, they didn't. And I had seen the movie before I read the book, so maybe that influenced how I felt about the characters a little bit. Um, but they were, they're college kids. They're making dumb mistakes. There was one that was the leader, and he's a little more responsible than everybody else, trying to kind of hold everything together and give everybody a little hope and trying to plan for things. I wouldn't say he was my favorite. He wasn't not my favorite, but like I said, it was just I didn't really feel too connected to anybody really. Okay, so for standout moments and twists, this book had a lot of standout moments, and it had a few twists. If I would have only read this book, like I said, I'd seen the movie. If I had only read this book, this would have been an amazing book. I would have loved it. But since I kind of already knew what was coming, I wasn't super surprised, and I wasn't super. There were a few parts that weren't in the movie that I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. But as far as like I said, any stand up moments and stuff like that, I kind of already knew what the book was about. I knew pretty much everything that was happening. And oddly enough, I remembered like every single part of this movie, which is very rare. I don't remember whole movies at all unless I've seen it like a million times. I've literally seen this movie one time, and somehow I remembered every single part of it. So that came back to kind of bite me because I was like, man, I wish I would have read this book before I saw the movie, because the book was really good. And I think I would have enjoyed it more, obviously, if I would have read it before I watched the movie. Okay, so I really enjoyed this book. I enjoyed this book a lot. It had everything essential for summer. It had body horror. It had like this hopeless sense of dread of um, it was just really good. It was really atmospheric. It was really, you felt like you were there, and it was really, to me, it was really unique. I'd never really other than the movie. Like I said, I've seen the movie, but other than like can't really think of another book that I've read that's really like this. And like I said, if I would have gone into this book blind, if I would have just read this book and not seen the movie, this would have been probably like a 9 out of 10. I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10 just because I have read the movie. I mean, I have seen the movie before I read the book. And I don't know if many of you have seen the movie, vice versa, or read the book, but I had seen the movie and I still enjoyed the book. I would still recommend reading the book if you've seen the movie, because just like with any book that's made into a movie, you're much more in the book. You get to know the characters more. You get to be in the atmosphere a little more than just watching it. So I would definitely recommend reading the book, even if you have seen the movie, because the book was amazing. It didn't feel slow to me, kind of like I mentioned before, and I really enjoyed it. And I would recommend it to pretty much anybody for the summer read. This is like a perfect summer book. And I'm probably going to rewatch the movie, honestly. So if you liked this video, if you found it informative, or if you didn't, please let me know in the comments if this is something that you liked and enjoyed. And, if you read the book, or if you read the book first, or if you saw the movie first, and how that influenced your experience with the book. So yeah, please just like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.